What is up, Ryan? And welcome to the podcast. We are on week 25 of the podcast.
You're crazy stuff. At this point.
I am forgetting. I was not prepared. How are you doing today, Ryan?
I'm doing well. Yep, there we go. Got rid of the echo. Yeah, I'm doing really well. I just finished absolutely destroying some HelloFresh buttered shrimp rolls that were just absolutely incredible. And now
always a good time. I'm drinking. I'm just ready for this election to be over. It's been crazy.
Sipping them Ronas.
Oh, yeah, you gotta be. Before we get into our guests today, just wanted to discuss the election a little bit. Obviously, we're not going to try to bring politics into this too much, but a lot of people have put a lot of money on this election, and it's a lot closer than people thought it would be.
Yeah.
Trump was a huge underdog. A lot of people said it was 90%, 10%, these news outlets, and it is close. While Biden, it still looks like he's going to take it home. A lot of people have a lot of money on this. I don't know if you've seen, but Mike Matisow tweeted, and I'm hoping he's kidding, but that he has half his bankroll on Trump and basically the other half on Negreanu to upset Polk. So what do you think of all these bets, and what are your thoughts on the election?
It's super funny because to the non-poker world, thinking about odds and like what equity you need in order to make a bet doesn't make a lot of sense. But if you think about it in your head, like when you're thinking about a poker decision, like, oh, I'm getting laid 3-1 odds, so I need 25% equity in the hand to continue. So if you're thinking about Trump getting laid like 8-1 odds that he was going to win, the equity that you would need to make that bet is like negligible. It's like 10-11%.
I don't think any sports books were offering quite that good. I know my buddy, I don't know if you'd want this said, but someone who submits a lot of hands made a bet with Polk, and he was only getting 2-1. So I think he bet like $2,500 to win $5K if Trump wins. And I don't think the odds were there, but I mean, what the hell do I know? It's a close-ass election.
Yeah, I totally agree. But yeah, I think that's the point. I think Bart Hansen put out a video explaining the concept as well, really, really well, about how like he's like, I don't support it, but I am doing this. I'm running my bets in this way because it gives me the best opportunity to make a crap load of money, and that's what I'm here to do.
I mean, if I had the option to make 50% of my investment back, I would have taken Biden. Like completely, if we're not even talking what our political stances is, just solely wise investment, I thought this was going to be a blowout. I did not think it would be this close.
No.
And it would be a massive sweat had I actually put a ton of money down.
But right.
Thankfully, I decided not to degen.
Right, I'm a government major.
You were a government major. You're washed up, buddy.
I was. I'm washed up. A few years removed from the craft, okay? But yes, this was not what I expected going into it. I even corresponded with an old professor from college in the last few months, and he was like, I don't know, man, you seem kind of crazy that you even think he has a shot. But I'm like,
oh, really? Which one?
It's Professor Biko.
Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't have the pleasure, but in case you forgot, I also double majored in government.
This guy over here. Dude, I love it.
But we won't nail the election too hard. I'm sure you guys have heard a ton about it, but always open to talk about politics, gambling, so slide into my DMs if you want to talk about that. But Ryan, would you like to introduce our wonderful guest today?
Absolutely. So this week on the All In Podcast, we are featuring one of the fastest growing poker vlogs on YouTube, with a fantastic combination of professional grade editing skills, personalities that are larger than life, and enthusiasm that comes with learning the game. Next Gen Poker has burst onto the poker blogging scene. In just 2 months of existence, this team of 3 SMU students have run up almost 4,000 subscribers, receiving well in excess of 10,000 views on each video. Please be sure to check out their Instagram and their YouTube accounts, which I will be sure to link below. And I've been begging Bryce to have these guys on here for weeks, and I've finally gotten my wish. Please welcome Jello, Rosie, and Frankie of Next Gen Poker to the
Yes,
All-In
that
Podcast.
was.
Let's
What's up, man?
go!
How's it going?
That was the coolest intro ever. Like, I want a clip of that so we can put it in an intro montage for the next video.
Oh, hell yeah.
Absolutely.
You guys are repping the merch. Let's go.
Dude, take a clip.
Merch just came this week. Might be hearing about a new drop coming up too from the boys. So yeah, we got a lot planned. Very excited to be here. Thanks for hosting us.
Oh, baby. Is this
Of
like an
course.
exclusive drop? Is this like Nelk Boy shit where like you can
Well,
only get
that's
it
the dream.
once?
That's the dream.
A little bit better than milk, actually, I would have to say myself. As you can see,
It's got some nice
Oh,
grip to it, dude.
baby. Let's go. And you guys probably don't sell out as fast, but high quality. So be sure to get yourself in a Next Gen hoodie.
You know.
And yeah, we will be linking down below in our description our poker podcast
Perfect.
merch as well. So, you know, if you want to get a sweatshirt with our cool logo, you can do that.
Well
Sure.
played.
Let's go.
Hell yeah. I'm going to support the boys, though. I'll get a
Yeah.
sweatshirt later.
Love you.
Dude, 100%. So I want to kick things off. All right, relax. You stand over there. So all three of you go by nicknames, and yes, I am counting that one time that Frankie called himself Francesco on the first episode.
That has a little backstory.
That's what I want to hear. Go.
So I'll start the boys off. It was back in February. I didn't have much of an online poker presence really at all. I just got into poker last year in October, so we're about a year deep, and now we have a poker channel. So anyway, I got in March, quarantine happened. I was like, crap, I want to play poker, but I can't. So I go to make my account on America's Card Room. So I used to play on ACR a lot. And I just had this envision of them like making a montage of my online poker clip when I joined the World Series of Poker at some point, and then going like, Frankie. And I was like, I don't know if that's enough. I don't know if that's like, it's not like daunting. It's not, it doesn't really scare my opponents to the level that I wanted to worry them. I wanted to hear that name and then start sweating, shaking a little bit. And something about Francesco, it just has a deeper undertone, doesn't it? And
It does.
it does. So, and then I was like, well, Francesco, and then think about all the people that are famous. It's always like the third king, King Louis the third. The first doesn't do anything. The first two guys, that's it. So Francesco the third became my America Card Room username. Ended up using for other accounts, and then Francesco just kind of stuck. But
Were
it's
you
kinda
running cash on ACR?
yeah, I was
That is tough.
Yeah.
4 tables at a time.
Good stuff. You just hopped right in it. What stakes did you start yourself out at?
I started pretty micro. I want to say maybe 5 cent, 10 cent, just so I can run $20 on all screens or like $15. But
how is the action? The cash game that I've seen is horrible, but the tournaments are obviously awesome there.
Well, I'll let actually Rosie answer that. This man has logged.
yeah.
So on the top, well, first I'll do the nickname. And on the topic of really intimidating nicknames, my nickname is Rosie. So
Oh, baby.
there you go, right? So my first name is actually Matthew, and Rosie is a childhood nickname. My last name is Rosenfield, and so that just kind of with me when I was playing sports. I think people would say like my cheeks would get red when I would run around a lot and get sweaty as a kid. So that combined with the last name, Rosie, stuck with me like all through to college now, and that's that. So it's not as intimidating, but I almost like the table image Rosie gives off. This kid's easy money, and then we take it from him. So that's the nickname.
I love it.
As far as ACR goes, I started micro, and this was just when I really wanted to get good at the game. I played 1 cent, 2 cent, and I would run. I got up to a point where I would run 9 tables at the same time and use Poker Tracker 4 software and get stats on my tables and really just get into the numbers. I'm a big numbers guy. I'm a math major. And so that's kind of how I got into ACR, is just the ability to get so much data and analyze it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Dude, that's
Ryan's
sick.
definitely more the numbers guy. Obviously, you got to put study time in, but he's a nerd, and you can catch him getting
I
a
love
hard
cracking
on
that stuff,
just
dude.
looking at
Oh.
stats.
Good stuff.
So
And then
go ahead. Yes, I
Go
need to
ahead.
hear your nickname story.
Yeah. So my name is Jack Aiello, and my freshman year, I'd never been called Jello before. And my freshman year, moving into the dorms, some girl came up to me and was talking to me and asked me about my name, and I told her what my name was, and she goes, "Oh, Jack Aiello, it's like Jello." And so
There it
it
is.
was funny, didn't think much of it. And then one of my friends heard heard her call me that and told all the fraternity guys that was my name now. And so people started calling me that. And playing online poker, I put my name as Jello, and my favorite number has always been 25. So Jello 25 has always been my screen name.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the come up story, but yeah.
I love it. All the nicknames have sick backstories. That's great. That's absolutely great. So, poker is, by its very nature, a super social game. And if there's one thing that I think Bryce and I would agree, that we haven't really played any live poker since Rona started. And the thing we miss the most is the banter at the tables and the fast friends that you can make on the felt. With that said, would you please tell our viewers how you ended up on a Nepalese rapper's music video?
I think you can start us off because you got felt about.
I will definitely start that off. I was playing a game of poker at the Hideaway. Starts off, every story starts there, and it's getting late in the session. I end up picking up Ace Queen, and I raised. This middle-aged Asian gentleman makes the call. We go up to flop, which comes Ace Queen 4. Obviously, smash that flop. I bet. He raises me. We get it all in there. I'm feeling great about it. Man ended up having pocket fours and stacked me for the full buy-in. And obviously, I went to go talk to that guy at some point later on. And essentially, we ended up coming back to see him. And
he commented on our video. That's what it was.
Commented on our video.
So the video of Frankie getting stacked naturally made the vlog because it was a big video.
Mm-hmm. Right.
We comment on that video saying, I'm the guy with the pocket fours. Check out my YouTube channel. It's called Swami D.
Yeah. So we go into this thinking he's another poker vlogger, just like us, like loves poker. We click on his account, and he's got like almost 100,000 subs on YouTube. Each video's got over 1 million views.
Yeah.
And rapper. He's a Korean rapper,
Nepal
Nepal rapper, and he had some pretty insane videos. So we watched them; they're super entertaining, and he reached out to us to.
I ended up responding to the comment after we saw it, and I jokingly said, "We love your channel. If you ever need any extras for a music video, let us know." Literally, just in the comment section of YouTube. And he said, "I'm filming one soon." We talk about it at the Hideaway because he's a regular there. And we lock it down. We get an invite to this ranch in the middle of North Texas.
And I was naturally like, oh, no, this guy, I don't like this guy. I mean, they felt in me. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, as you would.
And then we end up meeting this guy, and you would think culture difference, something. No, this man is the coolest guy you'll ever meet. So, seriously. We eventually became friends. It wasn't nothing like he commented us, and the whole time he was just the best host for a music video. So, we're very grateful that we got that opportunity.
It was crazy seeing the shots from your vlog, too, because, like, you could just tell that you guys were just, like, having a fantastic time the whole time. Like, it was just smiles the whole time.
They're always cheesing. I love it.
Dude, like, who wouldn't? Like, what a crazy opportunity to be in a Nepalese rock video. That's so cool.
Yes, the video's coming out, I think, in December or January, so you guys will have to...
Okay, I should ask that. That's important.
Behind the scenes video we got out today, the video itself will come out down the road.
We'll post a clip. For sure. But,
for sure.
Yeah, so moving into our next question, we mentioned you guys have 4,000 subscribers in just 2 months. What is the magic at growing at this mind-bending speed? How did you guys do it?
That is a very, very difficult question, as the YouTube algorithm is a very complex topic, to say the least. But I really think that we came in here with a mindset and an idea that was just better than the competition. We came in with the idea that there wasn't enough fun and excitement coming into poker. And I've always had a desire to start a YouTube channel, wanting to, for actually a long time, since I was younger. And I just I knew that these are the two that get me the most excited about poker. This is, we get the most riled up when we're playing poker, we're bantering, we're playing our home games. I was like, we have something that other people do not have. We ended up getting lucky that this man can edit like a wizard, and the editing is what makes our videos stand out. And I'll say one of the things that makes us stand out compared to other poker vloggers that are smaller is they don't have that live content. They're sitting at their desk and they're just kind of filming graphics. And while that's good and informative, I think our channel, we want that fun aspect. We want entertainment and we want analytical and review, but we're all about, I think the fun and that kind of content makes us stand out.
Right. I think you guys have really struck a really nice balance between, like shots of you guys going into the casino and hanging out, and then music and like side shots of stuff in the casino and then into the hands themselves. If you guys do it, I'm really impressed by your editing style. Rosie, like big shout outs to you, man. It's really cool.
Thanks, man.
All right. So how did you guys make the decision to become a poker content creation team? So you guys played poker together as a group, and then eventually you guys just said, screw it, let's just make the jump.
The decision kind of happened during quarantine. I mean, and it's pretty awesome that we can look back on this crazy year of 2020 and say this was the year we got all this done, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, it just happened during quarantine. I mean, we were all playing poker and we're like, when we get back to college, we hadn't seen each other in months at this point. Let's actually do something with this. We all know how to play the game, or at least we think we do at this point. It's only been a year.
It's great. Yeah, exactly.
We think that we can bring something to the table here, and we just put in the work and we made it happen.
Dude, that's awesome.
In all honesty, when we started, my goal was to have maybe 250 or 500 subscribers by Christmas, starting in August, with about 100 views per video, hoping maybe if my mom clicks a couple more times, 150. But it just kind of naturally, our just excitement about the game just naturally kind of flowed into the YouTube featured pages and recommended. So we feel very grateful.
Yeah, when we got back from quarantine, we were just fiending to play some live poker, and so we headed to the casino, us three, and after our first few trips, we were like, let's just try and record a few hands, see what it looks like. Let's record an intro, see how we look on screen, and we just liked it from the get-go. I actually took a little poker hiatus for the first 5 or 6 vlogs because I had gone quite down the first few sessions. I hadn't played live in a while, so that was tough. Happy to get back in it right now. Yeah,
dude, I thought the way that they wrote you out too for those 5 episodes was beautiful. It was yeah, he's giving up on the game. Just kidding. Shoot to you. Hey, we're good. Don't worry. I'm just taking a break.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely great produced videos, and look forward to seeing how you guys develop. But so what poker aspirations do you guys have once you graduate? Do you see this becoming more than a hobby or a favorite pastime, or do you think it's just going to continue to be something on the side?
I mean, have we started looking for internships in Las Vegas? Maybe.
Good answer.
Mr. Poker Pro.
I essentially am wanting to take this as much as you could take something. Honestly, I fell in love with the game the past mostly 8 months. I would say plus about 8 months, and I've been looking for internships in Vegas. Like he said, I'm trying to maybe live there full time after college. I've got this great engineering back, plan B now almost.
There you go.
My engineering is almost my plan B now. That's how passionate I am. And I think the nice thing about this, and the part that got me the most worried when I first started, was poker. If it's my life, then it makes the games, it takes the fun out of it. And that was my biggest worry. And now that this vlog, and it's kind of started to gain some traction, I've realized that the vlog could actually help me drive me into a poker pro career and keep that fun, entertaining aspect, because there's other ways to make money in the other business side of the opportunity that isn't just poker, where I think that's where people lose the fun in the game. If you don't make your money back today, then you're not buying your rent, you're not paying for your rent. That's not a point where I'd want to be. And now that I feel like we have this channel, I want to see how far it can go.
Dude, I totally agree.
Yeah,
I've done way too much nodding in this episode, just being yep,
yep, like idiots.
Yep, I agree. It sounds good.
I mean, I wake up every morning and I'm just almost won the World Series of Poker, because that's my dream every night. I'm about to win it. I'm about to take the picture, and I wake up.
No, it's for me, it's it's the moment that you win, and you would turn around and there's your boys. There would be Bryce would be right there, he would be losing his mind too, because he would 100% would have a piece of me too. So he's I just won a little bit of money. But
that's not why I'm happy. I'm happy because
he's happy because I won. Not just because he won a little money.
Yeah.
But 100%. So Bryce and I both graduated just this past year from college, and we understand the rigors.
2 years ago, bro.
Is it 2 years ago now?
Bro.
Oh my god.
Dude, wait, we're so old. No, okay, all right. No, it was last year.
No, someone already graduated. Okay, 2019, yes, but I'll give it to you.
Thank you, God. All right. So, how do you guys go about balancing between like the obligations of the fraternity, poker vlogging, and schoolwork?
Well, I would say there hasn't really been many events with the fraternity this year as quarantine. There's nothing really going on socially, so that gives us a lot more time to play poker. There's ways you can play live poker safely now with just wearing a mask. So that's really nice. So we've definitely taken advantage of that. And with school being online, the commute to school and back and the time in class, being able to spend that time doing other things as well. At the same time, as Rosie said, he was in class while he was at the video shoot, doing all these things that help the vlog out. I think that's been huge for us, and that's really helped propel us during the quarantine time.
No, yeah. If we've often said to each other, like, if Corona didn't affect school the way it has, we don't know if we'd be able to start this channel. Like when we would film like our earlier sessions, when we go up to Oklahoma, which is an 1.5-hour drive, we'd wake up at 5 a.m. and play their 5 to 10 a.m. special promotion to get free money. I have class at 10. I just straight up could not do that if I couldn't go back to the hotel room and go to class.
Oh my God, dude, that's so crazy.
Yeah, we decided to start during quarantine as well. This is our 27th week. But Ryan definitely, just seeing his transformation as a poker player, he went from above average to actually good at poker. He thought he was good. He thought he knew
It
stuff.
takes a village.
But yeah, it really does. But it's awesome to see you guys grow in such short time. But moving into our next question, in one of your recent vlogs, we got to see some tournament action. Do you guys think you guys got the tournament itch, or do you think you're just going to stick to your bread and butter being cash games?
That is such a perfectly timed question. Frankie, do you want to tell them what you're trying to get us to do tomorrow?
Yeah, I kind of picked up a tournament bug a little bit. Yeah, I have the itch. We're buying into our biggest buy-in ever tournament this weekend.
Let's
for
go.
$50,000 guarantee, $285 buy-in.
Nice.
And we'll be updating everyone on our Instagram. So yeah, I definitely say I have the tournament itch. However, I am a cash game roots player. And then I also think about my goal to win as many bracelets as possible. So it's a constant battle between the two. I will say that we're going to continue improving both sides of our game, and tournaments help bring a lot of good content for the channel. Because people can see big numbers, because there's $50,000 possible. When I'm playing 1-2, there'll never be any type of that money on the table.
Right.
Definitely the content creation aspect of this definitely pushes us more toward tournaments when normally we wouldn't do something as crazy as that.
Also, I've liked playing a few tournaments, just the free rolls or the cheaper tournaments recently, just because getting to learn a new aspect of the game. Tournament play is completely different than cash, but it teaches you a lot of lessons that you can apply to cash game play as well. And it definitely helped me learn certain situations, certain hand strengths and stuff like that I wouldn't have otherwise learned.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of value to be had in these tournaments as well. There's a lot of bad players who play these tournaments. And also, just if you guys want to, you can definitely get staked. I'm sure you guys could sell your action, even if you wanted to at a markup, and I'm sure people would love it. If you feature it, you could sell even a package. If you say play for a few tournaments.
Dude.
But you guys, you might think you might not be able to sell, but even when I just first started my poker Instagram, just having an Instagram, yeah, sure, I'll buy it. So you guys, if you want to sell your action, that's one way to be able to play these tournaments. Sell half your action or something. So that's definitely something to think about. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been thinking that, and have been offered someone, he wanted to stake our action for a potential TCH live stream coming
That's
up.
awesome.
Yeah, we might be on a live stream soon.
Wow, there's so many announcements on this.
Like a 2-5 sort of thing?
This podcast is so hype. Okay. So yeah, and the only thing is, and I have an aspiration of playing in the main event this year, which is really
I'll see you there, buddy. Let's go.
Yeah.
You're playing there?
Obviously, I'm gonna need to get
100%.
staked for that. I need to get staked for some of that for sure. But when I haven't done the research when it comes into play. If I got my whole buy-in staked, like what markup I could put on that, or
I mean, probably just starting out, you should do like 10%, but if it's the main, you could probably go up to probably 15%. And yeah, I personally probably wouldn't ever sell more than 50% of my action, but because you're just starting off, I mean, just if you're playing the main and you sell 80% of your action, like who cares? You're playing the freaking main, and you still have a ton of like chance to make a ton of money. Like yeah. Shut up, Orlando. Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, that's okay. Speaking of people like that, like in your comments on your Instagram stories or Instagram already, there's people who are like, "Oh, check your DMs."
Yeah, the DMs have been slid into a lot more times than we thought at this point.
Really it's the page has existed for 3 days. You guys have like 20 dudes from around the country sliding your DMs, be like, "Yo, when you come through LA, come hang out with us."
Yeah, people have been offering up like their homes to us. They want to take us out to dinner, like the whole thing. It's been crazy.
I think I had a conversation with someone about moving to Italy.
Yeah.
One of my Italian fans, I could show you screenshots. Like, bro, I'd be so hyped to move to Italy. Like,
you guys are charismatic as hell. I can see why you guys get a lot of clout.
I get so hyped from international views. I just think it's so cool. One Malaysian person has commented on all of our videos. Malaysia.
Every single video.
How do you find us? Like, that's just
so
cool.
Sick.
So cool.
Oh God, dude, that's wild. Okay.
You want the next question, Ryan?
Yeah. So in your YouTube channel description, you describe your play as mainly influenced by poker legends such as Tom Dwan, Phil Ivey, and Daniel Negreanu. My question is, what aspects of their game do you think you guys have right now, and what parts of their strategies are you looking to implement in your future?
We will start with the person who wrote that lovely bio, Frankie.
Okay. So when I wrote that bio, I really wanted to use the big names everyone was going to know to transition into the fact that generation, because Daniel Negreanu's named Kid Poker, he's not our generation. He's older now. He's another generation behind. And so I want to learn from these greats, and obviously poker's developed a lot since those people became famous and like popular in the industry. And I want to learn from their game, but using the new next generation of statistics, all the poker trackers we have, to create this new sort of game that is going to be the most profitable ever that we're currently.
Go.
Okay, so it's not. I honestly didn't have one aspect of their game in mind. I was just more thinking about we're going to transition from that style of poker to some more. We're going to use numbers, analytics, statistics, some of those deeper type of information and stats that you won't be having back in 2000.
You guys would really get along with Jonathan Little. You guys would really get along with it. Hit him up right now.
Yeah.
Tom, where you at? Oh, you have one of his books behind you?
Yeah, right here beside my bed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've got a couple of his in my bookshelf right there. Of course.
So our last question before we get into a hand review we have with you guys is, aside from being asked to be in a music video, do you have any wild stories that have occurred at the casino other than Kings folding to aces pre-flop? I don't know how the hell you guys get that image. But,
that was the worst hand ever of the vlog.
He's the tightest player you ever seen.
Oh, yeah, that was. Yeah.
That's so sick.
The first
I couldn't believe that.
The first ever hand was him. Yeah, basically.
How triggered were you when he just flips over Kings?
I mean, that was so early in I was happy to just win the pot at that point in my career. Like, I didn't realize how mad I should have been that I got him to fold Kings to me. It was just like, all right, we win, we take the money, let's go. We didn't have to see, but that's obviously not how I think now. Now I'm triggered thinking back to it.
Yeah, because you're like, that's a snap. That's a no-brainer.
I know. That's maybe I shouldn't have re-raised
my money.
Take
it.
So to answer you guys' question, I'll start off by saying just from this channel, I've had just the most interesting conversations at the felt. Like, normally I'd be to myself, quiet, focusing. Now I sit on the table. We get recognized almost every table we sit at.
Really?
We talk about it's awesome. It's awesome. So I've had amazing conversations. But the best moment that happened at a casino was back in Choctaw. If you go take us back to episode number 3, when Rosie had his big hand with who we called the Choctaw Professor.
Was he the one who pointed at you? Oh, God.
Who gets in Rosie's face and points at same school. And the thing was, I'm just playing a different table. like I just fold my hand and I just turn around randomly and start noticing this big pot. I'm filming, trying to be as low key as possible. And after that happened, I'm like kind of excited because I just realized I got the best content like ever. It was like because we said before we walked in that this episode was going to be called Choctaw University because we were going to take our online Zoom class in the hotel room. We already said that. And then this man comes in and tells him to go back to school on our episode. I was like, oh my God, this is the best moment ever. And I see
That's so funny.
Reggie is so upset.
I was not thinking that. I was not
No,
thinking that.
you
so mad. Instead of going to confront him, I was like, let's go. That was awesome. The best content.
I see Frankie in the other table, like fist pumping to himself as I'm giving the stand money. And I'm like, what am I doing here? I've won 20 minutes. Like, this is the worst thing ever.
You're
That's
supposed
so
to be my friend.
That
It's
was
good content, though.
that was a pretty legendary moment.
That to this day is our highest clicked thumbnail on the channel.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Good stuff. But yeah, thank you for sharing. But we are going to get into a hand history with you guys. So Jello's got the ace queen. This isn't the hand you already talked about, is it?
No, this isn't.
Okay, I didn't think so.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so let's see what happens. What is the background on this hand, if you guys happen to remember? Or do you remember this villain?
He's
at all?
probably gonna remember it as the action continues.
So,
because, like, there's nothing to visualize.
I don't remember a whole bunch about the
Do you
villain.
have it here?
However, yes, I know what happened. So the under the gun raises it to 10, and he wasn't like a reg or anything. I would say he's more of a recreational player from what I remember. And the button calls, which I'm not really too scared about. So I decide in the small blind I can use this as a good 3-betting situation. And I 3-bet. I probably could have sized up maybe a little bit more than 35, but I choose 35 as my size. And we see a fold from the big blind, I believe. And who was it here?
Under the gun 1 calls and the button folds.
Right?
And you guys go heads up to the
Yeah,
flop.
let me pull up the picture. you
Yeah,
sent me.
I promise you, I took this from the picture you sent me.
Yeah.
So,
So
I promise you,
We're
I
heads
have
up
this
to
one
a
right.
flop.
But no, I would tend to agree with you. That
Oh,
his-
yes.
his
Sorry,
size-
I'm thinking about a different hand. This guy was a real quiet player. He had headphones on. I was thinking about my other ace queen hand that I sent you guys.
You're good.
Yeah, you sent
So-
me.
Gotcha.
So
Our fault.
this hand, we see a raise from undergun +1. He's a pretty good player from what I remembered, and he was wearing headphones. He was one of those players. He kind of looked like an online player presence at the table almost. And so I 3-bet him, and he just flat calls. On this board, I decided to check here mainly because he had a massive stack. He had way more than me, and from what I saw, he was pretty aggressive. And so I kind of wanted to give him the chance to bluff or maybe hang himself here if he made a bad bet. And so I check to him on this flop, and he actually decides to lead out for 60 here.
Massive bet.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I feel like I'm probably ahead here most of the time. And I decide just to smooth call, though, just
What do
because.
you think he's betting?
There's
60 bucks
absolutely
here?
no reason to raise this.
Yeah,
I
unless
agree.
you think he's gonna spaz off with just some horrible. Like, there's no reason to raise it.
And if you
keep it right.
think he's a pretty good player, he's probably going to be 4-betting ace king too.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Right.
Keep ranges wide. And what do we think he's opening? He shouldn't be opening ace-7 like ever. And yeah, he has some ace jacks, and obviously he could decide to c bet with queen. His range is still very wide, but
Right.
that's a big bet.
Yeah.
So yeah, a flat's good. So are you thinking just let him hang himself again on this turn? And
Yeah, that was
also-
my plan. Also, pot control. I didn't really like how big the pot was already getting. He threw a massive bet out there, so I wanted to keep the pot lower. I didn't have too much left behind. Only about a pot-sized bet, as you can see. So I just decided to check here.
Do
And-
you plan to just? Well, I'll just let the hand play out. So oh wow, okay.
Yeah, he jams. He jams on me here. He ships it all in, and I go into the tank for a while on this hand, and that was mostly because I didn't think I was trying to decide whether he would be doing this with a flush draw or not, because that's just about all that I can beat currently. I don't think he's going to really overbet like ace 10, ace 9, something like that.
Yeah.
And so I think, honestly, at this point, I'm just a bluff catcher or maybe a some sort of draw that he could have, like a flush draw. And that's
What are you putting him on then? Do you think he has a set of sevens, ace jack? Because do we think ace four is betting this big? Because he can't have ace four of hearts, obviously, with the ace out.
Right.
So are we just putting him on ace jack pocket sevens, or how strong do you think he is?
In my opinion, this bet looked very value heavy. It looked like he was really trying to screw me over almost with an ace queen, ace king type of hand. And so I tanked for a while, and he was staring at my stack the entire time. I remember I noticed that he was just looking at my stack for a while, and it looked like he just wanted it to be in his pile. So I end up making the fold here. And it does seem nitty at the time, but the guy was very, very upset when I made the fold here. He was like, "You have ace king, don't you?" Or he's like, "Did you fold ace king?" And I was like, I didn't want to tell him what I folded until he's like, "I'll show you if you tell me what you folded." And so I laid it down. I showed him.
Sevens?
He had ace jack, actually. He said he was trying to target ace king and ace queen. Figured he was good enough to know that, and I didn't think he was going to be raising a flush draw here, considering that I had most likely a good holding, considering I called his flop bet.
Damn, good folds, man.
Yeah.
Good folds.
Well, I think can I ask you a question? I think this hand becomes even more interesting if he were to bet something smaller. Like if he went for 80.
Yeah,
80,
I actually think if I were in his shoes, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
Even if you go bigger, like 120 pot commit, I think that doesn't actually necessarily look stronger. I don't know. It's very interesting. But like when he jams, like I agree with you. It
Right.
polarizes it. But like when you're repopping in pre-flop, you're not doing that weak. So he expects you to have a ton of big aces. So I like the fold. I think it's a really, really, really good fold.
Thank you.
And it's very player dependent for me. But
Yes.
yeah, good fold, man.
And to add to that, I think that your stack size actually kind of helped you in this case here, because this is actually a super awkward stack sizing for any under the gun +1 player, as he doesn't know what to bet here. So he ended up having to go for the overbet, and he found a good fold. So good job.
Yeah,
Right.
I think if he had bet smaller, like you guys said, I might have been priced into call or convinced that he had some sort of weaker ace holding that I could still be ahead of, and I might have made the call if it were smaller. But
if you do make the call, then you're calling the river with stack size.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I'm just amazed he went so big on the flop with ace jack. Like he went 2/3 pot. on the flop
I don't
with
think it's
the top
actually
two.
insane. I mean, he was targeting exactly ace king, ace queen. Because if he's betting
And
this,
I
what
guess
is the
hard
point
draws.
of betting? Yeah, hard draws. But yeah, no, I don't hate his line. I wish turn he'd bet a little smaller.
Right, because I think with this bet you force out all the flush draws, and the only hands you can get value from are ace king and ace queen.
I think
what you had, and you made a good fold.
If you guys are thinking like super like meta like information, I don't like his bet on the flop because he's not setting himself up for good bets on the turn river.
Right.
So that's something I guess you could think about. But
I like that. That's good.
That's also something that really, it's hard to think about the effective stack size at all times. The one thing I love about online is I always know exactly how many chips they have.
Yeah,
like exactly.
I see a lot of people do this online, actually, interestingly. Like, when they have a hand that strong, they just target a good hand because they figure they're not gonna make any money. If you have a hand like nines, you might call one street, but I mean, if he bets this big, you're only gonna get small value. He was going for all the money with this bet. So I don't completely disagree with you whatsoever, but yeah, definitely an interesting line. Because what do you think he should have sized on the flop? Do you think a bet more like
half
maybe
a
is
little
good?
bit over 45?
Yeah, because that's definitely in his shoes what I would do. I don't normally bet that huge on the flop, but I don't hate it. But I definitely see your logic because he didn't set himself up for a good turn river bet.
Yeah.
And you ended up folding, so he did end up losing that value.
Yep.
So well said. But yeah, I think that closes us off. But oh shoot, I totally just I meant to take off the hands, not you guys. But thank you so much for coming on. We love your energy. We love your content. We'll definitely put a link for both your vlog as well as your merch, so everyone should cop their stuff. But thank you so much. We wish you guys run good, and we are gonna continue to follow along your journey. Any closing thoughts, Ryan?
And thank you so much for coming on. You guys are awesome, and yes, please continue making this great content because we're all eating it up. Everyone is.
Thank you for having us. This has been awesome. Like you're our first podcast. Maybe there'll be more down the road. Like
Hell yeah.
number one.
I
And
hope
it's
so.
awesome.
I love
We'll buy you drinks in Vegas.
Yes.
Go.
One day, it'll happen. I'm looking forward to it.
This summer.
Looking forward to it. Let's go. All
Let's
right,
do
you
it,
guys
dude.
have a good one. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Well, that was a ton of fun. Very much enjoyed having them on. We've got another hand. I believe this is your hand of based on your description, you screwed it up. So I'm interested in seeing
What a
how you
shock.
screw it up. I, as always, have not looked at his hand because I like reviewing it with him live.
Right.
But do you want to give us the table dynamic of what's going on?
Yeah, so we're playing six-handed online. It looks like we're playing 51. This hand I think I played like almost exactly a week ago. I've been running really poorly in these kind of like small I guess they are really small. So I'm running pretty poorly in these small stakes games. And I think part of it, by running bad, I've now put myself in this weird spot where when I have good hands, I'm not going for enough value. And I think that's really going to be the lesson that we're going to learn here. So, yes, Under the Gun is a loose aggressive, like V-pipping over 40% of hands. Has lost like at least 2 buy-ins at this point and is still just punting off.
Raising to 250? What the hell is that sizing? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you make it 750. Do you think you can go even bigger here? 1, because you're out of position, and 2, because he's loose as hell and might call you very loose?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. So I actually don't remember this off the top of my head, but I can't remember if you're supposed to size up. You're supposed to size up more against an early position raise as opposed to a late position raise from the small blind.
I mean,
correct?
with a premium hand, absolutely.
Right. So I'm supposed to be going like 3.5, not 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like a little bigger, but this
Like
isn't horrible.
8. Yeah.
I mean, if you do go too big, you might lose the action. But also, I mean, you want to ice.
He's a loose aggressive opponent, so I think given his profile, I think I can get him to call like 8.5.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
okay.
So, but it's okay. So we got ace 4 6, 2 diamonds. Obviously, we're gonna c-bet this. Well, not obviously. I know you though, and you're gonna.
Yeah,
this.
I think I'm gonna c-bet like
what do you
half
go with here?
pot. I think I'm gonna c-bet like half pot. I'm actually not sure what I bet here. I hope I
Interesting.
c-bet like half pot.
Okay.
A little
yeah,
less.
I don't mind this bet at all. I actually like the range of like 650 to half pot, just because if he does have an ace, unless he has a hand like a good ace, he could have a lot of the ace 4, ace 6s.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we want to charge a diamond draw, but we don't want to just pile money in on this flop. But at the same time, he is loose, so I like going nearest half pot. So honestly, I like this sizing. I have no complaints.
Okay.
I'm assuming, he doesn't just fold or this would be a boring hand. So a 5 on the turn is not really a good card. Again, low aces hit his range.
Right.
And ace 5, he should have more than ace 6. So I'm assuming you again decide to c-bet because he didn't raise you on the flop. If he did have 2 pair on the flop, he could raise this a decent percentage of the time, especially there being a flush draw out there. But I expect him to be raising the turn more with hands like that. But so I'm interested into your sizing here. Do you want to?
Yeah,
1750.
That's a little, So I go a little bit more than half pot here, and I think the rationale is to charge the flush draw even more because I think my thought process on the flop was very similar to yours. I was like, okay, if he has ace 6, ace 4, like I'm kind of screwed here with the top of my range. But I do want to get value from the vast majority of hands that aren't beating me here, like middling aces and stuff like that. And I think on this turn card, by betting like just a little bit more than half pot, I can still look like I might be betting here with a diamond draw because I'm still giving myself the right odds to draw to a diamond draw and stuff like that. So if he does have like a middling ace type hand, I don't think he's folding to this bet.
I like a little bigger because I think you have all the strong aces. Yep. I think like 20 to 22 is the range that I would go for. And if he decides to just rip it in your face, I think you can get away from it. So by sizing up, it also kind of eliminates him re-raising you. Because if he has a diamond draw, like I don't even know what not too many diamond draws have like also straight draws. You know what I mean? Like unless he has it doesn't really make sense.
It doesn't.
Yeah, I expect him to just have to flat. I just like a bigger size. And when he calls flop, I expect him to call a shit ton of turns.
Especially given
raise you. And if he re-raises you, he should have 2 pair here a lot, and we can just think about that then. He just flats. I expect to be good here almost all the time against the
Right.
aggressive opponent. And the river is at 10. Interesting.
It's not a great card, but yeah, it does bring in ace-10, which is one of those middling aces he would definitely call flop, call turn.
Do you think if he had a hand like ace-9, ace-8, he just flats the flop and turn against a player like you who re-raises him pre-flop? Or do you think, being the fish he is, he thinks ace-9, ace-8 is always good here?
I found that a lot of people give a lot of credit to small blind 3-bets online. Yeah, even like more so than live, but I don't have as much live experience as I do online at this point. But like I've been amazed how much equity I've been able to push people out of bluffing after 3-betting out of the small blind, because I can just be hyper aggressive.
Makes sense.
But like, yeah, I think this is like one of those spots where like I either have it or I have nothing. Like, but I should be 3-betting a pretty strong range from the small blind and a pretty linear one.
Yeah, so I'm assuming you decide to bet this. I'm just very curious as to your sizing. Do you decide, knowing you probably went for Value Town and probably bet something in the sizing of like 30 to 35.
I think I did. I think I bet like 35.
33 to 35 is what I would guess. 22? Oh my god. Why? What, like, if he has a hand like ace-8, ace-9, I think he's gonna call you. I'd go half pot, probably.
Oh yeah.
And if he just jams on you, you can probably get away, but half pot, he's not going to bluff jam on you. Like, this looks not that strong. When you bet third pot, which, yes, that's how you get called, but I mean, what is he calling you with? I'm sure you're good. What did he have?
He didn't show. He didn't have to show because I was the aggressor.
Yeah, duh.
He never said anything either. So I think he did call with a middling ace, and I absolutely agree with you.
I think he had exactly like ace-8, ace-9, because I think if he had a hand like ace-3, ace-7, I think he re-raises you on the turn. Assuming he's a loose aggressive player, which you've labeled him as.
Right.
I think ace-7 and ace-3 is a completely reasonable turn raise, especially considering you don't really have ace-4, ace-6. I mean, you do have the suited aces, wheel aces sometimes.
Yes.
But, like, he has way more than you do.
Right.
So, I expect him to have exactly ace-8, ace-9 here.
And I think I can go bigger against those.
Yeah,
I should be getting 3 streets here.
I think you probably lost 10, 12 bucks value, which, I mean, isn't the end of the world, but I don't
Those
like
were the little things.
Sizing.
And this is the I hate to keep saying Jonathan Littledave again and again, but he always says this. He's like, if you look at those spots in your game and you see those spots where you could have made $1 more or a couple big blinds more, that makes the difference in a year. If you make those 5 big blinds more in every single pot that you play, think about that. Over the course of a month, over the course of a year, you're going to make astronomically more money than if you didn't do that. It's like that's been the thing for me currently in terms of like betting and sizings and like post-flop play has been figuring out like value and how to get it.
Yeah, 100%.
It's been fun. We're getting there.
I'm glad. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't horrible, but definitely, I think you sized Rivers way too small. And if anything, I don't know if you've seen this. In our club, I am just known for overbetting the shit out of everything. I can't do that in other clubs. These other clubs I'm playing in, aside from like these home game clubs, because it just confuses people. It's a higher quality playing pool, and you can't just expect to just overbet and get
steamroll people. Yeah.
So it's different, and I have not had as good of a month. But anyways, we have one last hand for you. Thank you to Curtis, WBK,
our boy,
for sending us another hand. King 10 in the small blind. Classic playing marginal hands
good
and
old
just owning people. Alrighty, so I'm assuming this. Yeah, it says straddle.
Yeah.
I feel like every hand is a pro in position against us that we 3-bet with a marginal holding. And once again, that is what is happening today, folks. I like King 10 suited a lot more than King 10 off. Obviously, the equities aren't insanely different. But, you like to go after the pros who you know are opening incredibly light in a situation like this, especially in a straddled pot. I don't hate it. And I like that you did size up. And you're hella freaking deep, so I think it's okay.
I love the size up too because I think you're going to get a lot of folds from the pro and the dealer. Because just like you said, because he can be opening so much garbage, this raise to 160, while in terms of like equities, you may say, oh, is that like making money enough of the time? Probably, because you're going to fold out a decent amount of the
100%.
pros button opening range. So you're going to win, $50 here without having to see a flop.
pros are used to not getting run over by rec players. Like,
Yeah.
rec players aren't going to regularly be 3-betting king 10 offsuit from the small blind against a player they know who's good. You got
Yeah.
balls, you know how to play, and I like it.
Yes.
I'm interested as to how this hand progresses. He decides on a call, and we go to a flop of 10-6-3. Pretty good flop for us. Considering we're the pre-flop aggressor, I expect us to continue a large percentage of the time.
What do you think you should size here?
I don't expect us to go that big because 6-3.
We block spade.
I mean, his range is so wide, but we block the spade, and we also have top pair. So the tens he has, he could have a shit ton of tens. His range is so wide. But at the end of the day, I think that I'm probably sizing to about 22 bigs, whatever that equates to.
Interesting. Okay.
Maybe a little big, 22 to 26 bigs.
That's like $220, I think.
125. Yeah, that's actually probably exactly what I would size to. I love his sizing. I have not read the action on this hand, but I wonder what the pro does. The pro just flats when he flats. Pretty good news for us.
Yeah.
Let's see a turn. Turn's a 3. I think we just go ahead and bet here, but again, I don't think we have to go crazy huge. I think I elect for like a 40 to 45. I'd go almost half pot here.
And also remember that the big blinds that are in the pot are half of what they actually are because the straddle isn't taken into account.
I don't hate a check either, though, because what do we think he's calling flop with? I mean, he's so wide. He's going to be raising 10-jack, queen 10, ace 10. And if he has ace 3 or even a hand like, God, I hope he's not raising 3-4 suited from the bottom and then calling a massive. But I mean, we're deep. It's not the worst thing in the world. So I don't hate a check for pot control. It's also pretty disguising. So if we decide to check river, he's probably going to bet if he has spades. And if he has spades here, I'm very curious as to if he bets. If he has like 2 overs, like a hand like jack, queen of spades, I expect him to be betting this 100% of the time. But I'm very curious. I'm assuming because this is a podcast hand that it goes bet call here. But I'm very curious. 250 call. Okay. I mean, I figure like it's an interesting hand. Ranges are still pretty wide here, to be honest with you. I wonder what the pro is thinking of what we have. Like, does he think we have a lot of overpairs that are playing scared or trapping? Does he think we have ace king, ace queen, ace jack of spades? Like, I'm very curious as to how the opponent is ranging us. So, pretty damn good river. I am very curious as to how he sizes this.
Are we leading?
Good question. Good freaking question.
Because that's the thing is, can we get value out of an ace high if we lead here? Because I think it just looks 100% like a boat. But then again, if we check,
I think we check here. What do we think that he's betting turn with that will call the river? If he has spades, he's never calling this river, and we also block it. If he has a 3 and we check to him, I think he bets. I mean, you have the bottom end of the boat, but how is he going to put us on 10s? I think we have not that many 10s. So and if he decides to want to get crazy, he probably also doesn't assume we're always checking top boat here. So he might just try to steal it with like a 4th pot bet where he's just donating us money.
Right.
So I actually lean towards a check here. Because, I just don't think he's going to call a sizable bet. And, I mean,
what are we
targeting? Are we targeting, like, ace 6?
Right.
Like, literally, what are we targeting? So I think a check here is good. And he does check, and I think that's what he's going to do. And he bets 450. So when he bets 450...
Oh, music to our ears, by the way.
Obviously, it's music to our ears. But how do we size? How much do we want to polarize it? I think I like a sizing, I think decently big. I think I'd make it like 1,500 here. 3x might not sound crazy, but I think it's polarizing enough. And like, he only has 3K behind. I don't think we're going to rip in his face because I think it just folds. And if we min raise, that looks strong as fuck. So I like 13 to 1,700 here. 1,200, I think that's fine. Completely fine. I expect a call, and I expect he has a 3, or he's just fucking bluffing. He calls, dude definitely has a 3. Did he say what he had?
No, I don't think Curtis even said what he had.
I mean, when he calls here, I mean, what the hell else is he calling with? Unless he has
probably
like 7s through 9s, which still I think is a donkey-ass call.
Yeah.
I expect him to have ace 3 here, basically, always.
Right, especially as a pro.
Opponent had Ace-3, probably offsuit. Because, I don't know, Ace-3 suited, no, I think that's too donkey of a move when the small blind 4X's you. I'm not looking to 4-bet that. But, yeah, I really like the check on the river. I really like the way you played this hand. I really like your sizings, and you got value on the river. While I might have gone just a little bit bigger on that river, I like it. And at the end of the day, you want to get called. You did get called. You made, what, $600-700 on that river raise, and I like it, and this is why we decide to raise the small blind with King 10 offsuit against pros sometimes. And it's disguised, and we make a lot of money when we hit. If we don't hit, we've got the range, we've got the pre-flop aggression, and we can just continue to fire. It's not fun to fold, as Tony G would say. But yeah, thank you so much for sending this hand. I definitely love seeing your hands. I love the way you play. I think we have very similar styles in our aggression. You may even have me out-aggressed, so props to you. But the thing is, when you are aggressive, you're still playing these hands in smart ways. You're not just barreling, and you're smart enough to check this river.
Yeah, so many people would not check this river.
Even if you bet half pot, do you get called? Yes, but you make less money, and you're not getting called enough to make it profitable. Check raising him is 100% the move, and I love your line. You're a smart man, and good shit, man. But yeah, that's all we have for today. Thank you so much to Next Gen Poker for coming on. I will buy one of your guys' hoodies, and you guys should return the favor. Dude. But thank you so much. Can't wait to watch you guys blow up some more. Ryan, do you have any closing thoughts?
Yes, we will be moving to our new All In Poker Podcast YouTube channel. We will no longer be under the beautiful face of Bryce Williams. We will now be under the flag of All In Poker Podcast. Our wonderful friend, Noah, has made us a merch store as well. That's linked in a couple of descriptions. So our logo looks really cool, and my merch will be coming in next week. So if you want to see what it looks like, we'll 100% be plugging it then. So lots to look forward on the podcast. We got a lot of really great guests that are lined up coming in for the next coming weeks. So be sure to send us your hands because we want to go over them.
Please do. Shout out to Ben for sending me a hand. But yeah, that's it. Look forward to our new rebranding, and hopefully the YouTube algorithm likes that a little
Blesses
more.
us.
But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and have a good one and run good.